Hello, welcome back to a Tech Ambrosia live stream. Hope everybody's had a good week. I hope the holidays have been okay. It is that part of the year where you start to realize how little year there is left. Well, we have what, like 3 weeks, and one of those weeks is going to be Christmas week. So yeah. I hope everybody's doing okay. Let's go ahead and say hi to folks in the chat. It's a quiet day today. It's like we've got Trina. Trina's here. Hello, Trina. Also, BPS Car Audio's here. Hello, welcome. Y'all get a personal stream today, apparently. So yeah, obviously this topic isn't like super interesting to a lot of people, but this is something that I actually kind of like. I'm kind of a sucker for these little thin client PCs. And what I've got for you today is actually the wrong one. I bought this thin client PC. Most of the reason I got it is because it has arrived new in box, unopened, unbroken Dell tape on both sides. Can you believe nobody bought this? So this is a Dell Wise 5060, and I got my wires crossed a little bit. I thought that this was embedded bulldozer, but in fact it is Puma or Jaguar Plus, depending on what website you find about it. Those are, of course, famously the low power embedded AMD cores that went into the PlayStation 4 and the original Xbox One, that a lot of developers really chafed at because they weren't very fast. These are also not very fast. They run at 2.4 gigahertz, and we've got 4 cores and 4 threads. And well, I want to use a thin client. This is currently the most modern thin client I have in my apartment. I have a whole bunch of much older thin clients. I have some running Cyrix processors, the Media GX and the Geode that those were based on. I also have some running some VIA C3 processors, and I have a whole bunch, like 4 or 5, in-order atoms, which are also not terribly useful these days. So I am trying to put together a very small, low-power home theater PC that'll run a few games, maybe run some Steam games, run some emulators, and of course play back video off of like YouTube and local video sources off my NAS. And I don't know if this one's going to do it, but we're going to find out today. In fact, I'm so not confident that this is going to do what I need it to do that I've got 2 more of these on the way. One is a 5070, which is based around the Celeron J5005, which is Gemini Lake, significantly newer. This is 2014. The SoC in this is from 2014. Gemini Lake is from 2017. That's actually the generation just before the, not Golden Cove, but the P cores, or the E cores that came into to Alder Lake. So Gemini Lake should be pretty nice. That's probably going to be the one I end up using as a thin client, or as a home theater PC. But the other one I have coming in is an HP T630, which is running embedded bulldozer. But again, not quite the model I thought it was. See, AMD names their embedded CPUs really strangely. Like if you thought that the new Ryzen AI HX 370 whatever processors are really bad in the mobile space, their embedded processors are god-awful. So you've got this, which is running an AMD GX, I believe 242, GX 242, Puma, so like Brazos, Jaguar, Puma, that low-end line, the low-end embedded line. That's the 242. Is it 242? 424? I don't remember. There's also a 240 or a 420. That's a completely different processor. I think that's the embedded Jaguar, or the embedded bulldozer. And then there's 422, that's also a completely different processor. But they're all like, I don't know, 4 digits apart from each other. So you can understand why I got a little confused when I got this one. Anyway, we're going to see what this thing can do. I don't hold out high hopes for this. I'm expecting performance somewhere around like the first generation out of order atoms. So like Bay Trail-ish, maybe? Something like that. Bay Trail or Cherry Trail. Yeah. We'll find out. Oh, we've got some more folks in the chat. So, who is here? We've got Schizomaniac. Hello, welcome to the channel. Justin D. Morgan says, dude, you're getting dull. That's right, I'm getting a dull. Awesome, and Clarshan 1 Plus is here. Hello, welcome to the stream. Clarshan says, I hope the 420 is blazingly fast. I don't think so. I think that's the one that's the embedded bulldozer. So no, it's not. And Jack68K is here. So let's go ahead and crack this thing open. Which again, this is the original Dell packing tape, unbroken on both sides completely. Brand new inbox. This cost me all of $30 with shipping, so not exactly a high-end unit here. Supposedly this came without a keyboard. I looked up the service code for this on Dell's website, and supposedly it came without a keyboard. That would be correct. This is empty. There's nothing inside this. This would be where the keyboard would go. Nice, love it. Crucially though, it does come with the power adapter. That's the important part. If you ever tried to buy one of these thin clients on eBay, you know that the power adapters are their own little racket. Like trying to pick up one of these power adapters costs you almost as much as the thin client itself. It's just stupid. We do get a mouse. Look at this, a genuine Dell mouse. Oh, it's got a pretty good click to it. They don't even do you the courtesy of telling you it's made by Logitech. It's just a Dell mouse. Power cord. And this uses the IEC Mickey Mouse cable, so that's good. Pretty normal. And we've got a stand. It comes with a vertical mount stand. Also good. Not always a guarantee that they come with that. But this is the main attraction, of course. Yep, that's a Dell thin client, all right. So it should be pretty easy to get into, and I believe it's literally just a jumper on the motherboard to yeet any BIOS password that might be on it. Like there's the standard Dell-wise BIOS password, which is Fireport. If you're ever working on one of these and it has a password on the BIOS, it's Fireport, almost guaranteed. But these usually also have jumpers on the motherboard to clear the BIOS password. They're very secure because it's corporate computing, but also it's corporate computing. You've always got to have a back door. Anybody who's worked in corporate IT knows the truth of that statement. There's always got to be some way to get around the security, because at some point you got to get your job done. So usually these are just one screw on the back to get the top off of here. This one is 3. They're a little fiddly. My hope is, though, that this comes apart the same way the older ones do, which is just it just slides backwards and comes off. So we're going to find out in a second here. We've got our little information label. Tells us that this is indeed a Dell Wise 5060. Sorry, this is the N07D. Where does it say 5060 for this one? It doesn't, but that's how you can find these online. Well, that's interesting. This says it was manufactured in October 2017, so they're really still using the that Puma chipset in 2017. It's a 3-year-old chipset. But yeah, there you go. That pops off. Easy peasy. Easy peasy chicken squeezy. And this looks like we've got 4 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's no biggie. So if I'm right on the performance on this thing, and it's right around like the first out-of-order add-ins in terms of performance, we're looking at like, I don't know, like original PlayStation, maybe Dreamcast emulation, N64 obviously, but nothing like super high-end. 2D arcade systems probably. You know, CPS2 should run fine on this. Don't know. I'm not expecting a ton out of this thing. Should be interesting to see though. Jack 68 cases. I mean, it was cheap. What do you want? I want the world, Jack. I want the world. That is what I want. And this should... Oh, there's 5 screws. I missed one. There's also one on the front, right up there. They're very conveniently marked out by stampings in the metal. How nice. These all have a little dab of blue Loctite on them, which is kind of funny. But that should, yeah, slide off of here. Should being the operative word. There we go. So, goodies on the inside. That looks fun. What do we got there? We got a built-in SFP port I totally missed on the back. So that's kind of wild. It's not something you see every day. Unfortunately, I don't have an SFP transceiver for that port. But that's kind of cool. Huh. Wild. Okay, so, and the storage is here. That is just a SATA SSD. That's screwed in. It's a pacer. It is. It's 8 gigabytes. Wow. Do we try running just the 8 gigabytes on it? That would be some kind of Linux. I think it'd be kind of funny, actually. Oh, our only display options are DisplayPort, so I gotta go get my DisplayPort to HDMI adapter. Where did I put that? I put the one that works. That's the key. It's the one that actually works. Right here. Okay. Well then, I think we should try it with just the 8 gigabyte SSD in it. I don't know what we have for RAM. I'm not seeing any RAM slots in it, so the RAM is probably soldered somewhere. Oh wait, hang on. I think the RAM slots are under this giant metal cover right here. That's the RAM slots. We've got one SODIMM. Let's see what we got. Justin says, yes, we must know how well it works with 8 gigs. Jack 68K is pulling for 8 gigs of RAM, and he says 4 gigs would be embarrassing. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, Jack. Most of these have 4 gigs of RAM. These are thin clients, after all. Now, the ones that I ordered, I did make sure to get ones that have 8 gigs of RAM in them. This one, though, I think has 4. Only because it's DDR3, and I think I've got a DDR3 DIMM sitting around here somewhere. So we've got a 1 4GB SODIMM here. Oh, but we've got a surprise. We've got 2 SODIMM slots. It came with 1 4GB SODIMM. So this could conceivably go up to 32 gigs because we have 2 slots. That'd be a real pain to get that other SODIMM in there, but let's try it with the stock RAM first. See how bad it is. Do we have any votes for what flavor of Linux to run on it? I was gonna try Bazite, but like Bazite's minimum requirements say a GPU that's capable of Vulkan 1.3, and this has GCN on it. It's got 2 compute units of GCN, but I think it's GCN 1.0. I think it supports Vulkan 1, not 1.3. 2 votes for Linux Mint. All right, we'll do some Linux Mint. And you know what? I'll use the Dell mouse. Also, I have my PS2 keyboard out here. This is legacy free, so I'm gonna need to go grab my USB keyboard. The mouse and the cable are in separate parts of the packaging. What? Dell, you weirdos! It's like this is like blister packing for like if you're putting 2 things into this one piece of blister pack, but they just put the mouse in one and then the cable in another, and then like heat creased it. What? Who does that? Apparently, the world's largest computer manufacturer does it. That's who. Why? Why? Okay, I have too many cables over here. Let's see. You can tell I'm used to working with older thin clients because I actually had my VGA cable out and ready to go, and I'm not going to need that at all. This thing just, it's only DisplayPort. Not even HDMI on the back. Only DisplayPort. To say nothing of VGA. The number of terrible old thin clients I have in the other room that have VGA on the back. I thought for sure this would have VGA and PS2 on it. Nope. Nope. It is all DisplayPort and all USB. Check that out. We got the 2 DisplayPorts, USB 2, USB 3, the SFP for wired LAN, which I don't have a transceiver for, whoops, and then DC in. And then we've got the opposite side. I think the front USB is, it's not marked. I think it's probably just USB 2.0. And then, of course, we've got, it has a headset icon on it, so I'm guessing it's a TRRS headphone jack for like a call center headset. Because that's what this would be doing. It'd be sitting in a call center. All right, let me grab a USB keyboard. Question is, which one? this one. Don't know if this will get into the BIOS. Guess we'll find out. We've got the gay keyboard. You'll see why in a minute. Jack 68 cases. Whoa, 2 slots. So this, we've got a couple of interesting things in here. We've got this is just onboard SATA. It's just at a 90-degree angle. That's just the daughter board for the USB on the front. This is, what are you? It looks like M.2, but I don't think it's M.2. I think that is Mini PCI Express. Maybe it's an E key M.2 for the Wi-Fi card that would usually go in this. That's about it. We've got a bunch of connectors that are missing. Looks like there's some pads in there for another PCI Express slot. We've got some pads up here for a normal SATA port. Nothing else really in here of note. Oh boy, I can't see that at all. That is I think that's our Ethernet controller right there next to the SFP port. It's a Realtek. It's probably just an 8111, but I just wanted to make sure. Let's see. That can't actually focus that close. Can you all see it? Probably not. I don't think this can focus that close either. Yeah, I'm not really seeing anything. It's fine. Like I said, I don't have transceiver for it anyway, so not a big deal. Tarina, did you say gay keyboard? Yes. Yes, you'll see why in just a moment. Why I call it the gay keyboard. Yeah, see, exactly. Justin D. Morgan says, before the business I work for switched everybody to laptops, they had thin clients in the conference rooms, so you could log in and open your PowerPoint from the network. Oh yeah. That is classic server client Windows computing. Love it. Okay. Keyboard and mouse are in. Don't need a coaster, don't need a zip tie. This mouse feels like nothing. It feels like it's made of air. Gross. Network. We have no network because we have no Wi-Fi card and we have no SFP. Okay, we have USB ports. So just throw a Wi-Fi dongle in there. Should be fine. Put it on the opposite side of everything else. All right. Display port. Oh yeah, no, it absolutely feels cheap. It feels really gross to use. This mouse is absolutely nasty. So one One big old slab of plastic. It's so lightweight, it gets pushed around by its cord. That's how lightweight it is. Let's see, we need video, and then we'll need power. Video. We plug in our speaker again. That's gonna be a pain. I can just move the speaker. We'll at least get alert beeps and stuff. Yes, it does sound cheap. It sounds as awful as it feels. But you know, if you take a mouse like this and you put some like specific model Omron switches in it, then it gets to be a gaming mouse. It's a lightweight gaming mouse. Ooh, there we go. Oh, this connector is minuscule. There. Okay. I will at least have internal audio. Not that it's gonna like chime or anything on startup, but if it starts beeping at me, at least I'll know. Our power adapter here. I've seen grocery store produce bags with better twist ties than this. Okay. DCN goes there. And then here's our Mickey Mouse cable. See, this one's got a good twist tie. I don't know why they put such a terrible one on the other thing. I mean, I know why. I just like to give them a hard time. None of this stuff is made in the same factory. None of it. That's why. Okay. Power in. And plug connected. All right. Switch over to the capture setup. All right, let's see what this thing does. If I just boot it, it should boot into Thin OS. Maybe not. Maybe. I made a lot of beeps. Well, there we go. Generic FCR SATA loader device. Great. Nothing. Okay. There's no OS on it. It's completely blank. I guess we put an OS on it. Easy. Not a lot to see. Okay, well, we got 2 votes for Mint, so let's put Linux Mint on this. See what it does. Grab a copy of Mint. Okay, Lint is downloading. Linux Mint is downloading. What else were we thinking on here? I do kind of want to try Bazite just to see if it does anything, but I'm guessing as soon as it tries to fire up Wayland, it's going to die. Wow, Bazite's enormous. So Bazite's not going to work. Just the download is 10 gigabytes. Mint is 2.4, 2.7. So Mint will probably work. We'll probably have enough space for Mint. Let's see if we can, while we're waiting for this, let's see if we can get to the BIOS on this thing. It sure is beepy. This keyboard doesn't usually like to get into the BIOS, but because it's not booting into anything, we might have a chance. App menu setup. There we go. Oh, there we go. Fire. We got a password. Fireport, capital F. Okay, we're in the BIOS. So this is the. See, I had it backwards. Not the 242. It's the 424, which is completely different from the 420, which is also completely different from the 422. But we've got the GX 424 with Radeon R5E graphics. This is 2 compute units of GCN 1.0, I think. So like 128 shaders. 8 ROPs, 4 ROPs, I think. Like 16 texture mapping units, maybe. It's not going to play a lot of games, that's for sure. So we've got, yep, 4 gigs of RAM. At least the RAM's running at, DDR3 1600, which is not the worst. Let's give this thing a system date, huh? I'm sure that the backup battery on this is totally dead. If it even has one. Just set network time. And that'll be, oh, it needs 24-hour time. 16. Come on. 35. Boot mode legacy. Oh, we've got UEFI boot. That's nice. The legacy boot is for DOS and Windows XP. It's set to legacy by default. Yeah, these are not high performance machines. Alright, we'll save changes. So, technically it should be able to run Windows XP. Now the problem is, will Windows XP be able to, you know, get to its root device, right? Like, will it be able to get to the file system? I don't know. I really don't know. I guess we can try it. It's in legacy boot mode. I'm still waiting for Mint to download. Let's see if it'll run Windows XP. Where is Rufus? Joe is here from Joe's Computer Museum. Hey Joe, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Let's see. Will it run Windows XP? It's a great question. I think if you don't push the resolution, I think this could actually run Original Crisis fairly well. Because it's like, because it's Puma, right? So it's roughly equivalent to like K10 per clock-ish. And it's running at 2.4 gigahertz, which would have been a pretty high-end Athlon 64 back in the day. We've got 4 cores instead of 1, although Crisis doesn't really use more than 2. Let's see. We're going to do this as BIOS non-UEFI. Go. Oh, nice. That sounds delicious, Joe. That's very cool. Homemade pizza with homegrown basil. Nice. I love how your autocorrect turned basil into basil. You also have a little homegrown basil. Okay, we've got XP boot disk written. So let me eject this. Mint is still downloading. Yeah, plugging the Wi-Fi into the USB 2 port on the front, it's not going to hurt my internet performance at all. All right, let's get this plugged in and give it a reboot. Sure likes to beep. No USB boot. Let's see if we can turn on USB boot. I'm sure. even see it? Really? Oh, there we go. Boot from USB disabled. Enable! Alright. See if she'll run XP. That time we got a Dell screen. That's kind of cool. Hey, there we go. Well, let's boot that. See what happens. It says no. Really? Okay. Never mind. Doesn't like that. I wonder if it'll let us boot anything. Let's go back into the BIOS and see what we can do here. Try turning off TPM. Let's see if that does it. Well, sure, yeah. So it's set to legacy boot. And this is Windows XP. Windows XP doesn't do UEFI boot. It doesn't want to do it. Hopefully we have more success with Mint. This might be a very short stream. If we can't get this stupid thing to boot anything. Mint is almost done. 1 minute left on Mint. So why won't this boot? This is really weird. I have to plug it into a different slot. Maybe it won't boot off the USB 3. Let's see if it'll do 2.0 at the front. It ain't over till it's over. Let's see what we can make this thing do. Does not want to boot. Okay. Alright, well, we have a... It just goes through and does it automatically. Alright, it's just doing a CPU stress test. I love how it has a check mark on processor fan when there's no fan in this. But it's definitely warm. It's definitely warm. I'm not sure. Data bus stress test. Okay, sure. I mean, this is like, even though it has, it has heritage all the way back to the Athlon 64. Like this SoC is from 2014, and the manufacture date on this thing is 2017. I don't think it would even boot Windows XP. I'm a little annoyed that it's not even trying, because I'm hoping that's not going to be a problem for when we put a real OS on this. But it would have been kind of fun to just, you know, see if it would at least get partway into the Windows XP setup. But okay, don't need to run a mem test on this. This isn't Trina's Technobabble. Everything checks out. Oh, there you go. The Dell USB optical mouse, apparently manufactured by PixArt. Long gone are the days that Dell would contract with Logitech for their mice. Alright, whatever. Let's see if it'll run something like what Klarjan was saying. Maybe it's UEFI. So let's try an EFI operating system. You know what I'm going to try. Let's see if it'll boot Haiku. Okay. See if it'll boot Haiku. God, I hope it boots something. It boots Haiku. Apparently, it just doesn't like Windows XP. I'm guessing it is the UEFI boot thing. It needs to boot off of EFI. There we go. Look at that. It runs Haiku quite nicely. Okay, how is Linux Mint doing? Is it downloaded yet? It looks like it is. Awesome. Wait. Okay, yes. I was like, wait, why is this download canceled? Oh right, that's Bazite, which is over 9 gigabytes. And will not fit on the 8 gigs of internal storage. Let's see. I'm just gonna drop this into my doing a little housekeeping. I'm gonna drop this into my ISO folder. Should only take a second. 2.5 gigabit Ethernet, thankfully. There we go. And let's write this to a USB. Let's just spin a couple of teapots before we write this to a USB. This is very small. Not bad. Oh, where's Pulse? There's Pulse. There we go. Well, it runs Haiku. That's pretty good. If all else fails, we can just put Haiku on it. Okay. Let's throw Mint on here. See how this does. All right, writing out the Linux Mint USB. One sec here. No idea how much of a relief it was when it started booting Haiku. Oh. I think it's worth at least playing around with for a little while. Blake DMC says maybe I need to daily drive some Haiku on older laptops. Yeah, honestly, it's pretty lightweight. So like older hardware can really get perked up by it. It doesn't have great support for like new stuff. Like it runs on new stuff, but like there's no 3D graphics support. There's no like video decode support yet. They're getting there, but it's just not quite there yet. But as far as like web surfing, playing around with old BOS apps, like it's pretty great. I'm still very eagerly looking forward to their. They've got somebody in the team who's working on a RISC-V port of Haiku, and I'm extremely looking forward to that. Okay, there we go. That took a little while. Let's see how it runs. Mint. I'll try and boot Mint off of the USB 3 because this is a big girl distribution. It's not super fast and snappy like Haiku. It's gonna need all the bandwidth it can get. There we go. I don't even have to get to the menu, it just booted it right up. Okay, so let's do OEM install. Just start Linux Mint. See how long it takes to boot. So this is the KDE Cinnamon version. Cinnamon KDE? I don't know. It's the Cinnamon version of Mint. Not the XFCE version. So this is full fat Linux Mint. See how badly it runs. So far, pretty badly. Trina's Technobabble asks, how old of a laptop would you recommend for Haiku? Well, you see, you can run a 32-bit version on like a Pentium 3, so you can get pretty old with Haiku. The fun part about the 32-bit version of Haiku is that it's completely backwards compatible, fully binary backwards compatible with BOS R5 for x86. So you can run like packaged BOS apps on Haiku 32-bit, which is pretty cool. The 64-bit version, so far, I haven't found something that won't run it. It's pretty happy with like Core 2 Duo levels of performance, and anything faster than that is just gravy. I don't think this is booting. I don't think Mint is happy. I'm gonna move it to the USB 2 slot on the front. Turn it off here. Move this USB stick to the 2.0 slot on the front. See if that works. Hey, welcome to the stream, Chris. We are doing horrible things to a thin client. Although I guess it's not that horrible. Like, at this point, we're just trying to get it to boot Linux Mint. Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Haiku will run on this really nicely. What is this thing doing? The thin client is suddenly not happy. It's grumpy that we took away Haiku. It's like, give me back Haiku. I don't want to run Linux. Give me Haiku. Yeah, no, it's super not happy. What is your problem? I'm gonna rewrite this disk real quick. Trina says, you done broke it. Apparently. I just booted it a couple of times. Can you believe nobody bought this? I do wonder if it's overheating. Flip it up so it can get some of its convective cooling going. Pretty please? Wow, it's very unhappy. It's doing a whole lot of nothing. Okay, at least it does say it's entering setup. It's going really slow. Pull the USB Wi-Fi here. Maybe that's what's giving us grief. Wonder if it's that USB Wi-Fi. This is great. This is going really well. I'm like, yeah, I'll get a new in-box one. It'll be fine. We'll just screw around with it on stream for an hour or two, and it'll be great. Now I don't have any video. Why don't I have any video? Trina says, may I recommend the Lenovo thin clients? These Dell Ys aren't usually a problem. I have several. But this one is just putting up a fight. Okay, well, it's doing a whole lot of nothing. So, it is plugged into DisplayPort 2. Maybe if I plug this into DisplayPort 1, it'll work. Something with choosing the non-legacy boot option completely removed our ability to see anything on the screen. Alright, I guess it's the BIOS reset jumper. Time for the BIOS reset. Let's see, Dell Wise 5060 BIOS reset. The instructions are great. Press the delete key until the BIOS settings screen appears. I'm not getting any monitor anymore. I don't know how well that's going to work. Oh, that's just accessing the BIOS. It's not BIOS reset. Let's see if there's a jumper on the board for it. Not a lot coming up for this. Oh, good old Parky Towers. Parky Towers has a guide on this. So if you're not familiar, if you try and do thin client hacking, you really gotta go take a look at Parky Towers. It's it's spelled like it sounds, Parky, like a parky park. So PARKY towers.me.uk. They've got so many guides for thin clients and just doing stupid things with them. It's very good. There is apparently a BIOS recovery button on this one. Near the rear of the board. Not seeing it. It's on the backside. It's on the backside of the board. It is perfectly positioned so you can just stick a screwdriver through the rear vents. It is right there. Alright, let's see what it does. I don't know if you're supposed to just press it. Press it and hold it. Tarina. Oh. This is literally the most problems I've had with one of these. I'm currently running an older version of this. It's not the 5060, it's I forget what it is. It's similar. It's a little older. but it's currently running my my Home Assistant. My whole Home Assistant setup runs off one of these. I have no idea what to do with this BIOS reset button. If I need to hold it down, or if I need to... I probably need to hold it while I'm booting the machine. Which is fine, I just don't want... I want this little speaker getting stuck in here, or shorting on anything. Okay, so... Woo. Okay. Holding down the button, turning it on. I did get some interesting blinks out of the power button. But we still don't have video. Really? Really? Wow. This thing has been such a pain. I think it's dead, Jim. How did this... This is brand new. It was never used. How did rebooting it 4 times destroy it? This is so dumb. Wow. Well, at least we got it to run haiku for a glorious moment. Should have stuck with the haiku, I guess. Jeez. You know what I haven't looked at? I have not taken... I've not taken the heatsink off this to see how the thermal paste is. I bet it's pretty bad. I bet that's why it's dead. Betcha that's why it's dead. Even 25-watt CPUs need their heatsink paste. It's actually not too bad. Still liquid. But that is the SoC right there. Puma. Ah, frustrating. Trina says, I have a feeling the machine was made as well as the mouse that came with it. Yeah, I think so. I think you're right. Well, that's annoying. Well, I think I think it's done. I don't think this thing is. I can't believe we killed it by just booting it a couple of times. Can't believe nobody bought this. Well, I'm gonna give it one more Hail Mary pass, and that is I'm gonna re-burn the Haiku USB. We'll see if we can get it to boot Haiku one last time. I hope. I hope so. Oh, alright. Keyboard. Mouse. Display. Plug this Wi-Fi back in because Haiku didn't seem to mind. I don't know if Haiku can use it, but didn't seem to mind having it. Plug the speaker back in. These are the worst. These little connectors are the worst. They're so microscopic. There we go. Reburn this. Man. Well, I guess I'm glad I didn't do. I was gonna do a video on like, hey, these thin clients are actually pretty cool. I'm kind of glad I didn't do that. Jeez. I would hate for somebody to like go buy a thin client like this and have it do this to them. Just keel over. Well, we're gonna try one more time. Trina, my god, Trina has no chill tonight. They're cool doorstops. There will be, Justin, don't worry. This is I'm apparently I'm borrowing from you, and I have my eBay regret stream tonight. That's what this has turned out to be. But there will be a follow-up stream because I was already not totally sure that this hardware would be able to do what I want it to do. But if it's broken, it certainly won't be able to do what I want it to do. Because I've got 2 more thin clients on the way that should work a little better, I hope. Clarjon says, try plugging in its mouse and keyboard. This model doesn't come with a keyboard, but this is its mouse. This awful black chunk of plastic here is the mouse that it came with. I'll try this one more time. Well, that's what we got the first time we booted it. It was definitely something I did in the BIOS that made it unhappy. So now USB boot is probably going to be disabled. So I'm guessing our BIOS battery is dead. Or there isn't a BIOS battery. Yeah, there's no USB boot. Let's do setup, Fireport. Or maybe all of that pressing of the BIOS recovery button actually worked. Let's set a realistic date. God, it's the 7th. We're done with the first week of December already. I know I said that already, but jeez. Jeez. Alright. Boot from USB on. Roll back off. I don't know what that is, but I don't want it. Boot both. Okay, no, that was the thing that screwed me up last time. If I leave this on Legacy, it'll still boot Haiku. I'll leave it right there. Turn off TPM. Save changes. Okay, let's see what this does. No worries. i386SX is here. Well, we thought we killed this thin client, but apparently it has sprung back to life. All 25 watts of fury. I'm gonna see if I can install Haiku onto the internal flash. Maybe. This is the most successful we've had. The most success we've had all night. Yeah, okay. Let's install Haiku. This is impossible to see. It's impossible for you to see. It's very impossible for me to see. Oh, God. Okay, set up partitions. So we gotta do the... Oh, I need to boot Haiku, because I need to do the EFI shuffle. Close. Let's run Haiku. At least change resolution. Somewhere. Oh my god, it's so small. Screen. Yeah, it's trying to do 4K. Can you not? Apparently you cannot. It says no 1080p. Dude, Trina, just put Haiku on it and call it a night. Oh my gosh. Okay. What else will it let me do? Can I do 1366 by 768? That sometimes works. DisplayPort to HDMI never totally works correctly, but also I'm never totally sure if like the display driver in Haiku is actually going to work with like changing resolution. Let's try 720p. Oh, it doesn't like anything except 4K. All right. I guess we can do the font size trick because I can't see anything. That's an appearance. Oh, let's see. Grayscale anti-aliasing helps because now I don't have a bunch of weird red and blue subpixels. Let's make this double the size. So that'll be 36. It's quite large. Maybe it doesn't need to be 36. Maybe 24? Still not super readable, but I don't think it's going to do anything until we reboot. I don't know if it's going to save that. See if it'll take our changes. Oh, excuse me. I wonder if that was our problem with everything else. I wonder if I tried to set a resolution, it just won't work on this DisplayPort adapter. I think that worked. I think that worked. That's readable. It's more readable. Okay, so let's run the installer. Drive setup. Yeah, that's like readable, mostly. My problem is I don't have a DisplayPort to like HDMI 2.0 adapter. So trying to do 4K is a little iffy. There's that weird generic FCR SATA loader. It says it is 4 megabytes. 8 megabytes. The internal flash doesn't seem to be showing up. We've got the USB stick, this FCR SATA loader, which says it's only 4 megabytes. And then, for some reason, we've got, it thinks it's a CD-ROM drive? Yeah, ISO 9660 file system called Realtek. Like, there's like a firmware ROM that we can read. That's 8 megabytes. That's really weird. That's really, really weird. I wonder if it's just Try rescanning. No, there's nothing here. I wonder if the built-in flash is just dead. Not, I wouldn't be that surprised. I want to try something. Turn this thing off. I want to try something. I wonder if this will work. Where did I put it? Where did I put it? Is this one again? No, that's a main display port cable. Where did I put it? One sec. That'll do. Okay. Come on, camera. There you go. Okay. So, I have my stack of terrible SSDs. This one, running Windows XP, for the GA870 that I put together for last year's Cheap PC Challenge. And I've got one of these. Let's switch to the desk cam so you can actually see what I'm looking at. Beautiful. That is exactly what you think it is. This is a laptop combined SATA cable. So power and data all in one thing. It should plug straight into this header on the motherboard, and then let me plug in whatever I want in it. Should. Fingers crossed. See if it works. Trina, smarty pants. I've got this, an item in a bag. Yes, thanks. Get this protective shroud off of the SATA port, because I think I'm going to need it. And then unscrew the SATA SSD. It should just come out. Yeah, just like that. Get out of there. Your pretty standard Dell Wise garbage. It's an A-Pacer MLC module, 8 gigabytes. Just because I'm curious. See if we can read anything off of it. Get a little green light. A little green light I was not getting when we were booting the thing. That's not a good sign. No volumes automatically mount. If I open up disk management, uninitialized. Interesting. Trying to just initialize that MBR and disk management is frozen. So my guess is that that is dead. All right, let's see if we can get something else to work in here. Let's plug this end into here. As if it's a drive. Go. Plug this end into here. So it is a drive. Let's see what we get now. Oh, I've lost my USB. Awesome. Good. Desk cam is gone. Let's see. If I do desk cam is back. Hooray. All right. Sorry about that. Yeah, so I've got this plugged in with the big old extension cable. Good. I always wonder if the thing I'm going to plug into my USB will kick my desk camera offline, and that one did it. Okay, well, let's see if this will actually boot. Power on. Oh, it's just booting straight off this SSD. Okay. This is a copy of Windows 8.1 for K10. I was using this with a triple core Athlon. So like it shouldn't actually be that far off performance-wise. That's definitely Windows 8. Okay. Will this let me change resolutions? Oh, there we go. Now I've got mouse. Oh, that's even smaller. Oh, God, that's so bad. Will you do anything other than, please? I have no idea what these resolutions are. Cannot read them at all. Try that one. Hey, it worked. Holy cow, it worked. Ooh. I love how now it's just, oh, there we go. Yeah, okay, the other direction. Let's try 1080p, see if that'll work. It does. This can change resolution. Okay, fine. Oh, boy. Okay, so this will run Windows just fine. What was going on with Mint? I bet it was the resolution with that stupid adapter. Okay, we need drivers. Does it see the USB stick? It sees the mouse and keyboards. It should see the USB stick. It does. Oh, we have sound. How nice. I don't think we have drivers for our Wi-Fi. Get out of there. Get out of there. Put this in the USB 3. Do you get enough power? Drive you real time. Oh. Oh. It comes with its own drivers. How nice. Okay, that's the first time I've seen that. That's kind of slick. You plug in this USB dongle, or this USB Wi-Fi dongle, and if you don't have drivers installed, it shows up as USB storage. And it has the drivers on it. That's clever. That's clever. We have Wi-Fi networks. Fantastic. Lovely. Well, look at that. We're online. It's probably going to start installing drivers for us, I imagine. Okay, right? Say what you will about Windows 8, but look at that memory usage. Come on. That's on 4 gigs of RAM. That's pretty great. I know that's nothing compared to Linux, but like, for Windows, that's pretty great. Alright, well, let's grab some drivers. I8386SX says HP had some printers like that where you'd plug them in and they'd be a USB drive. It worked horribly. I'm shocked. This is my shocked face. I'm amazed HP managed to bungle that. No, I'm not. I'm not amazed at all. It seems pretty much par for the course for HP. Okay, let's do AMD GX 424 CC drivers. Where does that get us? Drivers and support for processor and graphics. Sure, okay. Can I just give me the list? AMD, give me the list. I don't want to use your stupid app. Give me the list. Crying out loud. Ugh. Oh, it just auto gives me adrenaline. That's sure. I'll play ball. I don't think it's gonna work, but I'll play ball. Sure. This is gonna say WTF. Yep, that's what I thought. Uh-huh, that's what I thought. Gimme. The product selectors. Oh, it's not showing. Okay, let's have Firefox update itself. Maybe that's our problem. It's not giving me the driver browser. ASRock. Maybe ASRock has it. It uses the same chipset. Give me your drivers. Win 8.1's x64 driver version 14. Do it. ASRock of all places. Dell would probably have the driver for this. Maybe they don't. Because you're not supposed to run an OS on this thing. You're supposed to run, Wise Thin OS. All right, Blake TMC said, "Ew, Windows 8." This is why I love Windows 8. Look at that memory usage. We've got Firefox open and it's using 1.4 gigs. Come on. Windows 8 is fine. Oh, Joe. Oh yeah. Come on, little embedded whatever the hell. Do your thing. Look at it go. Oops, Windows unzip is single threaded. Yeah, Windows 7 would be fine on this thing. This is just a standard Windows 8.1 install. I think it's Windows 8.1 Pro. I don't usually debloat anything. If the Windows is bad, I just don't use it. That's why I'm not using Windows 11. I have to debloat it to make it usable. I don't want to use it. Oh, interesting. 8386SX says, at my last job they had these. All of them started with Windows 7 until I upgraded them to 10. That's really interesting. I didn't think these things would run. I mean, I say that, but like Dell would ship these things with like Windows 10 IoT, so I guess that makes sense. Which, yeah, would also run fine. Get some drivers on here. Let's run some benchmarks. Let's see how bad this thing is. This is Catalyst 14. So drivers from AMD drivers from 2014. Pretty awful. I'm not expecting great things out of this. But this should technically be DirectX 9 capable. Actually, it might even be DirectX 11 capable. Yeah, no, it should be DX11, maybe even DX12? I don't think GCN 1.0 was DX12, it was DX11, for sure. Because Terascale was 10, and then Terascale 3.0 was DX11, GCN was DX11, and DX12 for some parts of it, and then RDNA was DX12. So technically, DX11 can be compatible, but we have two compute units. So like 128 shader processors and I think 4 ROPs. I gotta double check the numbers. Actually, you know what? We'll run GPU-Z on it in a second. We'll find out exactly how much it's got in terms of performance. Yeah, interesting. I thought Windows 8 was where they introduced DX12, but I guess you're right. It was Windows 10. DirectX 11.2 was released with Windows 8.1, but it looks like there's a hacked version of DX12 that runs on Windows 8, which makes sense. Windows 8 is not that far off from Windows 10. Oh, apparently, yeah, D3D12 on 7, which is the version of DirectX 12 that runs on Windows 7, works on 8 and 8.1. But Microsoft put in an arbitrary blocking code for it. If it detects Windows 8 or Windows 8.1, it just doesn't install. But it apparently works. If you remove the block, it installs fine and games work. So, yeah. Oh, Microsoft. Okay, so we've got drivers. Yes, we'll reboot, that's fine. Guess we're running Windows 8 now. Oh, ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. There we go. She runs quick. Now we've got hardware acceleration now. So what does GPU-Z say? That's pretty small. Radeon R5E graphics. Puma 28 nanometer. Oh yeah, 4 ROPs, so 4 render output pipelines, 8 texture mapping units, 128 unifying shaders. So that's like, God, what even is that? 4 pixel pipelines. We're going all the way back to like, what's the last time ATI used 4 pixel pipelines? I think that was the Radeon 8500 had 4 pixel pipelines. Yikes! 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 Let's see. Although we're running at 800 megahertz, so that's significantly faster than the 8500 ever ran. So, no Vulkan support. OpenGL 4.4. We do somehow have OpenCL. 800 megahertz GPU clock. Let's see what this thing will do. See if it'll run expendable, because why not? What else do I run on this channel but expendable? Let's do this at 720p? What are we running right now? The resolution has changed. What does it change to? Oh, it's running 1080p now. If I do 900p. It does it. Why does it have black bars at the top and bottom? This is a 16:9 aspect ratio. What are you doing? Guess we'll do 720p. That works fine. Now it's at least visible. Okay. So we'll do 720p, 32-bit color. Oh, it's going. Oh, boo. Let's see. I think I know what I need on here. Do I have... I don't have Notepad++. Okay. Let's get... You might want to turn your mic up. Oh, am I too quiet? Or was the... Oh, I bet it was super loud, right? Is this being piped in super loud? Yeah, it is. Sorry about that. I usually have this turned down. Sorry! Let's do... Down... Windows editor. Is there one that's GPL? That'd be cool. Yeah. XD. Gimme. What? Catalyst Control Center needs your attention. What? Yeah, I don't care about your video quality controls. So then the second time I went back to college, I got myself a cheap like Acer laptop, and it was running Windows Vista, and I was like, okay, I will, this is my school laptop. I should probably like learn how to use Vista correctly, since I'm gonna be stuck using it for the next however many years. And the thing about Vista, it sucked. It was bad. However, it did introduce the press Windows key, type in the name of the program you want to run behavior. That was the first time that appeared in Windows. And that, I learned that, and I got really good at doing that, and I still do it to this day. And the thing about Windows 8, as different as they made the start, like the start screen versus the start menu, you can still just press Windows key, type in what you want to run, and it runs it. And so, like, when I switched to Windows 8, it wasn't a learning curve for me, really, because I was already doing the press Windows key, type in the program thing. And it worked just fine. In fact, it was quite fast. You just saw me do it. It's faster than it is in Windows 10. Probably because there's less garbage running under the surface in Windows 8. I don't hate this OS. I kind of like it, and I'm kind of annoyed that it got dumped so quickly by Microsoft. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm installing a hex editor because we're gonna hex edit expendable for reasons. So you take the go.exe. I'm gonna make a copy of this real quick for backup. Drop it in the hex editor, and what you do with this is, if you want to run expendable on modern hardware, you go down to it's near the top. Let's just do a find. Time demo. Yeah, so here's the thing. These are the command line arguments that it's looking for. So normally, here's the thing with expendable, right? So this is a game from 1999. It's not coded the best. It can only accept one command line argument. So you can either benchmark it using time demo, Or you can set no CPU testing, because this thing will like try and figure out what CPU it's running on to run as fast as possible. It'll change code paths. The problem is it's from 1999. So when it detects an AMD CPU, it tries to run a 3D Now code path. And AMD CPUs have not supported 3D Now for like 15 years. So it doesn't work on this CPU. That's why it crashed, I'm pretty sure. So what you have to do, because you can only put one command line argument into the program, you have to set no CPU testing and time demo to the same argument. And you do that with hex editing. And this works if you keep all of the full number of characters in the binary the same. So I believe it's TIMEDEMO. I think we do time demo and then a space. Does that work? I think that works. I'll try that. Time demo, space. You gotta keep the number of characters the same. Let's find the next one. You can see there's a bunch of Easter egg command line arguments in here. Mumford, who stayed late again. Other stuff like low VRAM. I guess you can try and run this game on like a megabyte of VRAM. I've never tried it. Sounds awful. Time demo. No limit. Demo. Space. Let's see if this works. I think this is what you have to do. Save. Because this should be set to, yeah, this is set to minus time demo. Let's see if it works. Time demo 1. No. Yes? Maybe? I think I have to go the other direction. I think I have to make a no CPU test. Yeah. I gotta go the other direction. Okay, that's okay. We're getting there. We're getting there. You're learning how to hex edit things. Alright, so no CPU test. And then you change time demo to no CPU test. Down here, no CPU test. I think let's do control home. Find time demo. A bunch of these. Test. I think this is the help test text. I don't think this is actually what we need to change, but I'm going to do it anyway. No CPU test. So we've got four places where it's changed. Save this out again. Then I need to change my shortcut to no CPU test. see if that works. I've done this before, I swear. Yeah, see? I said no CPU test and it says time demo. See? Told ya. Easy. Got it first try. There we go. That's not great. 720p. That's pretty pokey. That is kind of what you'd expect out of something around the performance level of like an 8500. That's not great. Hence why, when I discovered that this is actually running Puma, I'm like, it's probably not going to do what I want it to do. As a home theater PC, a casual like couch gaming PC. I don't think this is gonna cut it. And this is the thing, right? Like, this is why I like to use this app. Like, it lost its relevance in like 2002. Like, cards got too fast for too fast for pundits. Except, with the advent of low power computing, in the 2010s, this suddenly becomes viable again. Now you can see how these little embedded APUs can actually, run this app. It's kind of telling, like, what was the TDP on, like, a Radeon 8500? Because this whole thing is 25 watt TDP. Is it actually more efficient now, or does GCN suck? I don't love GCN. Terascale is pretty cool. GCN, I'm never super fond of. The steadiness of the frame rate is making me wonder if we've got the same on. But I guess if I close this right now. Oh, I have my task manager open. Darn it. Oh, it doesn't even show up in here anyway. Darn. So last year, the benchmark du jour was Lost Planet, which is DX10 benchmark. How does it run this? Logos. Okay. So if we do performance test. Yeah, okay. Pretty much the same. 25 FPS. Whether it's DX6 or it's DX10. That's a great question. Blake DMC asks, is Lost Planet on GOG? I don't know. This is the demo that you can still get from, I think, Brewery 3D? It's one of the only, as far as I know, it's one of the only, like, DX10, like, requiring DX10 demos from back in the day. There was one other game that was, like, the demo was, like, a time-limited thing, like, you have to set your computer clock back to run it. Like, this just runs, so this was the thing that I made the graphics benchmark that year. Weird that the mouse cursor's still on screen. It's kind of strange. This is running at, like, the normal speed it would run at. I think this is a 30 FPS game on Xbox 360. Cat program asked, GX like AMD Geode? Sorta. So this is, I guess it's kind of the spiritual successor to the Geode program. This is well after AMD stopped making, even stopped making, you know, Semprons that were badged as Geodes. But they kept their embedded GX line, and yeah, this is Puma. So it's related to Jaguar. It's like the next generation after Jaguar, which, you know, Jaguar is from the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. So, like, CPU cores that are basically K10 in performance per clock. So, like, not brilliant performance. Somewhere around, like, a Core 2 Duo, in this case a Core 2 Quad, like a bone stock Q6600 would perform about like this. Except, you know, it was, you know, Q6600 was from, what, 2007? 2006? And this is from 2014. To be fair, this uses 25 watts, where the Q6600 was 95 watts, I think? So there is that. This was still AMD's Melee's era, so this is still running on like 28 nanometer Global Foundries, you know, garbage. The garbage process. Mostly 28 nanometer so that they could get, oh right, it's right? Yes, right click exits the demo, because that makes sense. You know, 28 nanometer, because that's what, like, Glofo had problems getting off of 32 nanometer for their CPU, libraries, but they were able to get their GPU libraries down to 28 nanometer. So AMD took all of their Bulldozer CPUs and they ported them to 28 nanometer GPU libraries so that they could produce them at a slightly smaller node size, which had the knock-on effect of being able to make APUs, because now you could have CPU silicon next to GPU silicon on the same die, which turned out pretty well for AMD, honestly. It's a pretty good decision. Like, the first APUs were kind of meh, but I think I'd have to say that it was a good business decision in the end, considering it's like, for a long time it was all that was keeping AMD afloat, is making custom APUs for Xbox and for Sony and Microsoft for Xbox and PlayStation. Yeah, that would do it. Cat Program says I was going to build an Athlon X2 with 2 gigs of RAM and a 6670 for XP to play my Windows 98 games collection. Yeah, that would be pretty good. Be a pretty good machine. So the next stream, I've already figured out what it's going to be. Speaking of AMD FX, I've picked up an AMD FX processor that I didn't know existed. Because we've talked about FX several times on this channel and on the stream. How it's always, you know, it's two integer units that share a floating point unit, right? That makes a module on FX. So you get one module, two threads. This is a 4-core FX processor that's 4-module, 4-thread. So I want to try it against like an 8120, like FX 8120, and see, is the gaming performance the same? Since this has 4 FPUs in it, wouldn't the gaming performance be the same as an 8-core FX processor running at the same speed? We're going to find that out next week. Because I've got, this finally came in, and I've got an 8120 in the other room, and I've got my Gigabyte 970 board behind me that's been pretty reliable. We've looked at the FX 6300 on that. I think we tried to run Starfield on it at one point, and it actually ran better than I thought it was going to run for some reason. Somehow it managed to run okay. But I think that's all we're going to do for this stream. I wonder if there's a way I can turn off the VSync on this. Catalyst, can you turn off VSync? I just want to make sure we're really not doing any VSync. That's it. You get a slider. Performance, quality. Okay. So if I drag it all the way to quality, what do I get? That's it. Okay. Does this go any faster? I'm going to try the expendable benchmark one more time. We're doing 720p 32-bit, I think. Yeah, 720p 32-bit. Sorry about how loud this game is. I always forget that the benchmark runs sound at the same time. Okay, well, setting it to performance instead of quality has given us more frame rate. So that's a plus. And we're not locked to 30 FPS, so I guess our VSync is off. Still not great. Like, this is 30 FPS in Expendable is not a good result. I think an original GeForce goes faster than this. Like, a lot faster than this. Let me look at my results from the Voodoo 5 video that I'm still working on, because I tested GeForce in that against the Voodoo 5. Where did I put it? There it is. Oh, I haven't categorized it yet. Where did I put this? So many recordings I need to categorize yet. I'm pretty sure. This is the main reason that it takes so long for me to get a video out, because I have so much stuff that I need to like dig through in order to find what I'm looking for. Okay, GeForce 256 DDR. Running. Expendable. Actually, the original GeForce only gets like 50 FPS at 1280 by 960, so considering this is 4 ROPS at 800 megahertz, it's pretty bad. And the GeForce is 4 pixel pipelines at 120. There's just there's something about GCN that's just not great. Anyway. Oh, absolutely. Blake DMC says, who in here remembers how 1024 by 768 was used for years like 1080p? Oh yeah. For a long time, I ran really low-end graphics cards because I didn't have any money. So my 1080p was was 640 by 480. Like when games started like requiring 800 by 600, I was like, oh boy, I don't know if my card can do it. Oh. All right, well, I mean, we had a little scare in the middle here, but I think overall it's been successful. Let me throw up the CPU-Z and the GPU-Z. Y'all can see what we've been working with this whole stream. There we go. There's our AMD GX 424CC, 25 watt TDP. That is the Step Eagle SoC. Peak clock of 2.4 gigahertz. Shut up and go away. CPU-Z, go away. Thank you. Peak clock of 2.4 gigahertz. 2 bins level 2, no level 3. It's pretty standard. It'd be what you'd expect to find on, like an Athlon 2 X4, something like that. Except it doesn't use 95 watts or 125 watts. It's yeah, not the worst. Kind of a fun little thing. Oh, we want, okay. I was about to like play us out. Everybody's like, do 1024 by 768. All right, fine. Let's do it. Well, you want to be really retro? We'll do 1024 by 768 16-bit color, because that's what you would have been doing back then. 32-bit color was for people who had lots of money. (1024 by 768 16-bit color. Hopefully it'll actually change resolutions correctly. Here we go. Hey, there we go. Basically the same. 1024 by 768 is pretty close to 1280 by 720. I think we might. I hate to say it, but I wonder if we're CPU bound. Because like I guess running in 16-bit color doesn't really matter on hardware like this. GCN never really showed a speed up on 16-bit versus 32-bit. Although, you know, 16-bit color, can you actually tell? A lot of the time, you couldn't. 32-bit color was just like this extravagant thing. Like, why would you use it? Why would you sacrifice so much frame rate for something that doesn't look that different? Of course, you know, we said that until 32-bit basically became free. Just run it in 32-bit because it's fine. Everything's fast enough to do it now. The other thing I wonder is, I remember when I was testing, was it this system where I tried to run Expendable on every version of Windows that Athlon X3 would run. So like I got XP and Vista and 7 and 8 and 10 and 11, and I want to say this was a thing with Windows 8 where it would only run at like 30 FPS. I bet this will do more. I bet this will do more frames if we weren't on Windows 8. Because I think there's some kind of weird compatibility glitch with this game in Windows 8. Because I'm like looking through this, I'm like, 4 pixel pipelines at 800 megahertz should be able to push out a lot more frames than 30. A lot more frames than 30. So it's running in Windows 98 compatibility mode. What if I put it in XP compatibility mode? Let's see what happens now. Still 30. Let's see if maybe if I turn off the window effects. Nope, still 30 FPS. Weird. Weird, weird. Because I remember I tested that Athlon X3, and like this regression went away at Windows 10, and it didn't exist on Windows Vista or 7. It's kind of funny because like you could start to see the performance drop off as you went from XP to Vista to 7. It got slower and slower and slower, and then you hit Windows 8 and it was like 30 FPS. And then you went to Windows 10 and it was back up to normal, still slower than Windows 7. Weird. Weird, weird. Alright, well, that's it for tonight. Like I said, I've got more of these coming in, so we're going to do a follow-up stream with the other ones, one of which is Embedded Bulldozer, actually excavator cores. So it's a 2-module, 4-core excavator with some fairly robust GCN graphics in it. I want to say 4 CU, so like 512 shaders instead of 128. Should be fun. That should be interesting to see. But then also the bigger brother to this Dell Wise 5060, the 5070, which has the Pentium J 5005 Gemini Lake, which should also be interesting. So that's it's P cores. It's like a generation behind Alder Lake's P cores, so it should be pretty quick, I think. It's Gemini Lake was 1 generation after Apollo Lake. If anybody here like follows the like Liliputing movement where you have small computers, Apollo Lake was pretty major for small computers, because like Bay Trail was their first out of order atom, and then there was one other, I forget what the Bay Trail refresh was, but then there was Apollo Lake. And Apollo Lake was like really good, and now Gemini Lake that I'm getting in a week or two should be 1 generation past that. So fingers crossed, that one should be really interesting. But also, I would love to see just how janktastic the embedded bulldozer is, and just how much it falls on its face. Because that should be fun. That's another like thin client like this where it's supposed to run in 25 watts. Like it's a 100-watt APU, right? Like normally 2-module, 4-thread bulldozer APU with like 4 compute units would be 95 watts, 100 watts, whatever. Trying to run it in 25 or 35 watts, that should be torturous. It should be torturous. I can't wait to see it. It's going to be funny. But I am glad everybody stuck around. I am going to switch over to this. Hello. There you go, Cameron. Well done. You focused on me. All right, so I'm gonna sign off for now. It's been an excellent stream. I was very worried for a bit there, but it looks like everything ended up pulling through in the end. Yeah, hope everybody had fun, and I hope you have a good rest of your weekend. And I will see you in the next stream. Next week, we're looking at Weird Bulldozer, 4-module, 4-thread. Shouldn't exist, but it does, because I have it right here. That should be fun. I'll catch y'all next week, and then I don't know what we'll do for the week after. I don't think the thin clients will be in by then, but if they are, that's what we're doing. Otherwise, we'll figure something out. Maybe testing graphics cards, because I need to pack all my graphics cards for the move. I should probably test them before I put them in the box. All right. So everybody have a wonderful night, and I hope you love yourself and others, and may the PC parts be ever in your favor, as always. Have a good night. Where did I put my end stream? I always miss this. There it is. Have a wonderful night.